All right, what is up, guys? We are finally back for another episode of the very famous Tuah podcast. I don't know if I'm doing my hands. It has been a very hot minute since last time we did this. One of the reasons is because I went home last weekend for Valentine's Day, and I took a little break from running because my feet were starting to get bad. And then it got really cold here, so I couldn't really run outside. And so all I did was just run around the track at the rec center, and those runs were pretty boring. And it kind of summed those up. It was like I had to take a lot of stops because I had a lot of like feet issues. I don't know what it was. Like my shoes were like either too tight or not tight enough, and it was really weird. So I had to take a lot of stops, which I didn't like. A lot of people walking, which I mean, it makes sense. You know, there's a lot of people that like to walk around the rec center, but like, there's like dedicated lanes like for walkers and for runners. And for some reason, even though the walk lane, it's like there's 3 lanes and there's one big one that's for walkers and then 2 that's for runners. But for some reason, the people that, even though there's a free, like, you know, right to their left is a free like walk lane, they decide to walk in the middle lane, and I'm like, really? So that was a little annoying. But I will admit that like going to the rec center, it encouraged me to, you know, lift a little bit and do like some stretches and some core stuff because I have like yoga mats there and everything. So that was good for me just to kind of I was able to stretch, and I haven't done that much recently. Like after my runs, I need to get better at kind of doing that. Yeah, feet pain was pretty bad. It was just terrible. Like no matter what I would try and do, my feet would just be in constant pain. And I will say there were a few runs that they were fine, but most of the times they were pretty bad. All the runs that I did were 3 miles, and that track, each lap is 1/6 of a mile, so like the run felt longer than it actually was, which I didn't always like. But I had some good kick songs, and like a few days ago, I added a bunch of songs to my running playlist and had those playing, just kind of have some variety. So that kind of sums up all of those, because I did like 4 or 5 and they were all pretty similar, so there's no point in doing all of those. But one more thing, like my middle toe, I don't know if you guys remember a long time ago, like I had an issue with my toe, like it was like getting jammed up against my shoe. And that's because my shoes were too loose, and that was another thing with like the shoe tightness issue. It was like I couldn't figure out the right one to do, and so when I would do it too loose, it would like get jammed up against the end of the shoe. So yeah, that sums up those. And so yesterday, we were finally able to run outside again, because it was like high 40s, or no, not high 40s, like low 40s to high 30s, so that wasn't too bad to run in, even with shorts and a long sleeve shirt, which is really nice. I only had to retie my shoes once, and it was only like after like less than a quarter mile. It was like I did my original start, and then I got like my first crosswalk, and I retied them there, and I have to retie them for the rest of the run, which was really good. Let's see, it was a little chilly. There's a few times that it got a little windy. Let's see. At like what was it? It would have been like my half mile mark about. I saw a poor little dead birdie. It was kind of sad. Let's see what else. I added new songs to the iPod, because the thing is, my running playlist that I had like when I was running around the track, I had my phone, and that's on Spotify. But like the thing was, the iPod, it's so old it doesn't like have Spotify, so I have to like use iTunes on my computer and like manually put it on there. But it was like being weird yesterday, and I couldn't figure out how to get all them on at once, and it was taking too much time because I'd already was feeling bad about not running earlier in the day. And so I only added a few songs, but I got a few good ones in there. And then after the run, I like tried to add the song, and I kept screwing it up, and it took way too long. What else here? Shin pain was there, but it was very minimal. I decided not to run with my compression sleeves. In on my track runs, I'd been running with them, and I decided to run without them when I was going back outside just to see how it would go. It wasn't like terrible, like it was impacting my pace, but it wasn't. But there was still a little bit there. I only took one stop that wasn't at a crosswalk. Most of the stops I took were at crosswalks. Some of them were with a light, some of them were without. The ones without a light, I could have gotten better at not waiting so long. But I did just take one stop that wasn't a crosswalk at all. It was just a turn. And I don't know what it is, but like for some reason, like if I'm having a bad run and I get to that spot and I take a break and I start going again, the rest of my run like completely changes. Like I don't know, it's like a breaking point that like, but in a good way. Like I was like kind of going bad, and then I stop there and I keep going, and then it ends up being good for the rest of the run. It's like completely two different halves. So feet pain was pretty much gone because I was able to fix my shoes or tie them the right way. So that was really good. So it was only really shin pain that was kind of there. Let's see. Oh yeah, and to make up for the one stop that I took that wasn't a crosswalk, there was one crosswalk later on in the run that was technically had a light, but like the signal to walk wasn't changing, but I knew I could go because there was a red light for the people that would be going. So I just went and I kind of made up for that. Like I went right as I got there. So that was kind of good. Tips of my shoes got a little dirty. At this point, I've just accepted that my shoes are going to get dirty. They're white shoes. They're white running shoes, and it's, the middle or the end of February where there's a bunch of snow and melting. So I know that they're going to get dirty anyways. Oh, yeah. And then there's this. I was like almost at my 3 miles in. So I did 4.5 miles for this run, and it's just like my usual route. But I was like 3 miles in, and I got to the 3 mile marker, and then I saw a dude with a shirt off. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take my shirt off. So I took my shirt off for the last mile of the run, which went pretty well. And I already kind of had my blood flowing anyway, so it really wasn't that cold. It was a little bit, but I will say taking the shirt off, for some reason made me go a little faster. I don't know what it was, but let's see. Oh, the one mud spot. I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of a few runs ago, I would constantly talk about this mud spot that I kept getting my shoes dirty on, and I had to run around it. And the first time I thought I ran around it enough, but I didn't. But then the next time I went completely around it, that mud spot is completely gone, which is really good. So I don't have to worry about going completely around it. I can just stay on the sidewalk, which is really good. Doesn't mess with my flow, It was right there that I absolutely started sending it. My pace was really good yesterday. It was even better today, but we'll get onto that in another video. But I just kind of started kicking it. I had some good songs going, and it was good. And I had 3 kick songs in a row that ended my run. I like these 3 big ones. It's one of them is Gas, Gas, Gas. I don't know if you guys know what that song is, but it's from an anime, I think, or something. It's used in a lot of memes and whatnot, but that one I like a lot. And then there's another one called Fire on Up, and they're by a band called the Paper Kings. And that one's been my one of my main kick songs for a long time. But then once Kickstart My Heart came in, that one kind of took a second, kind of third position. And speaking of Kickstart My Heart, that was the 3rd song that played, and that ended my run with that, which was really good. And I was even at one of the final crosswalks, and I restarted it because I just hearing the beginning of the song again. Just because once I hear the beginning of that song, I start sending it right away. So, oh no, we need to talk about that. Toe issue was not too bad again because I tied my shoes tight enough that they worked for me completely fine. So that was good. Oh yeah, during my run too, I saw a bunch of dudes in banana costumes. There was some banana party thing that was going on downtown or something. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. It was just a lot of dudes in bananas, guys and girls in bananas. So we're just walking around. I did try I think I pushed a little too hard because I tried to push through the whole thing, and I was doing like my little add-on, because like turning right into my dorm, it doesn't quite get me 4.5, so I have to do like a little extension where I go straight up and then I come back down. Maybe I start doing that on here. Like I'll like put like Google Maps on it. I know I talked about that earlier, but I was like trying to kick as hard as I could, and then I had to take a break. I was like, you know what, I gotta keep pushing. So then I went up, back up, and then I turned around and got the 4.5. What else? Overall, it was a good run, you know, especially to be back outside. My pace was overall really good. Again, it got faster and faster each time, which is really good too. And oh yeah, and then at the end too, my watch like bugged out or whatever. I think it had plenty of battery before I left, but I think like if I have my like the cellular data on for it, it like dies really really fast. So when I got literally like right when I got done with my run, it died. I was like, oh shoot, this also means I can't get back in my dorm because I have my like ID on there, and that's how I get in the building. It was like, okay, shoot, how am I gonna get back in? And it was just showing the Apple logo on it. But I was also worried about like if it didn't save my run either. So like I was worried that if it didn't do that. But eventually it turned back on. It was like 10% on it, and it saved my run, which was good. And I was able to get back in the building because somebody was walking out and I just walked in. But it was also the part about getting into the like my dorm itself, because like I need my own ID to do that, which was, you know, good that it wasn't dead. Oh, you know, like one final thing, I will say, like running with the iPod, I've been fidgeting with it. I miss like if I'm running like around sunset. I'm cleaning it a little bit, don't mind me. I don't have the chance to like take pictures with it because obviously it's just this tiny little thing, so it doesn't really do much. Just like besides play music, it can like track runs, which is kind of cool too. It's got like a Nike fitness thing, but I don't use that. I just use my watch. But like it doesn't have a camera on it, so I can't like take pictures like of the sunset if I see it. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this one. I'm gonna be recording the one for today right after this, and I'll kind of put these up both at the same time, or they'll be around similar times, as you can watch which ones you want. I know this one is a little long, but that's just because I had I talked about the other runs that I did like around the track. Just wanted to get those out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.